It's 2020 now. And I first heard a rumor about Michael Jordan owning prisons or owning private prisons back in, I want to say 2018. Late 2018, early 2019. And prior to that there's reports made even 2-3 years prior to that Michael Jordan owned private prisons. Now, when I initially heard the report, I didn't necessarily think that it was something that was true. I didn't necessarily think that it was the gospel. My initial reaction was, that's an interesting fact. I didn't research it at the time because it wasn't something that was prevalent to me, or it wasn't something that was important in my life. It wasn't a priority. I just heard it and just kept moving along. But it's 2020, and you still have individuals who spread information that it is clear that they haven't vetted themselves. And when you do a little bit of research, it is pretty clear that all of the evidence suggests that Michael Jordan, the NBA basketball player for the Chicago Bulls, prolific scorer, mid to late 80s and throughout the 90s, he does not own any private prisons. He does not own any stocks in any private prisons, because that's what the reports had said, that he had owned stocks. And then later on, it mutated into he had owned actual prisons. Initially, it didn't make sense to me. I just thought it was an interesting fact. But this is more so a case of mistaken identity. The Michael Jordan that actually owns stocks and that actually owns private prisons is an individual who's an Oregon lawmaker. And he's a white guy, not black. And a lot of people were getting on Michael Jordan's case because, let's face it, he's a predominant, rich, wealthy African American. And they thought that he had owned private prisons. I don't know if that was a report they put out thinking that nobody was going to research, or if they truly thought. Either way, it's negligible, because to me, it seems like they're operating with a very, very dangerous agenda. Now, I'm going to say something that is going to be considered unpopular, but what if he did, I'm talking about the basketball player, own some stocks in private prisons? Would he be wrong? Because you have to think that this is the same individual, owner of the Charlotte Bobcats, that hears stories about people going into stores, purchasing his shoes, and other people committing crimes to steal the shoes that his patrons have purchased. He will be pretty upset about that. And other than public relations, there's not much that he can do. But a lot of people, and this is another story for another day, a lot of individuals have placed blame upon Michael Jordan for the crimes and the improprieties of those who committed those actions. I thought that was completely irresponsible. Neither here nor there. With that being said, let's, if we're going to make a claim such as this that can be easily debunked, I think that a mea culpa should be issued from everybody who's responsible on the internet once they find out that it's not true. That they should say, hey, I was wrong. I didn't do the proper research, and just completely move on. But the lie is continuously getting spread, and this is a problem for multiple reasons, for obvious reasons. You can't, if we get to the normal of spreading a rumor that has not been vetted and essentially is false, but we spread it as true, then we're getting to a place that people can be held accountable for something they didn't do, and punitive damages can be applied. And I think that that's wrong. So Michael Jordan does not, the basketball player, does not own any private prisons. That is a talking point. That is something that people got to get away from. And I'm not trying to be a defender of like the rich or the wealthy, because I'm pretty sure Michael Jeffrey Jordan doesn't need me to defend him. But I am an advocate for truth and fairness, because in this country, or in life in general, truth in and fairness is definitely evasive, especially if you do not have the resources or the infrastructure to fight against lies and slander and etc., etc. So I think that it's important to understand and to vet and to, when you hear reports, just it takes a couple minutes to do the research on it, verify it. And if it's true, cool. And if it's not, then stop spreading the rumors, because that's wrong. So that's all I have to say about that right now. I just thought that was interesting. It's just like, all right, I got to make a video about this. This is highly interesting. But as always, BenPhrases, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Peace.